You've been asking, and guess what? We actually have been listening. We have been listening.
We have been.
And we've been working so diligently behind the scenes. We've been working really hard behind the scenes to create the most incredible workshop mastermind, the very first one.
The very first one. We have received so many emails throughout the years of the podcast requesting coaching with us. How can we work with you? Like, do you offer any courses, that sort of thing? And we've been trying to figure out the best way to bring this to you that makes the most sense for you to actually move your business forward. We've created this mastermind workshop where we're going to do the work with you, and it's going to teach you how to create a real estate brand that converts into sales, how to get those followers, like basically into your paycheck.
We're so excited. And
this week on the podcast, we are going to break down each week and what it's going to look like and what the mastermind workshop would look like for your business. So let's dive in.
You're listening to the Girl Get Your Face Off a Bus Bench podcast, where we invite you to check your ego at the app, grab a cup of coffee, and get ready to dive into all things real estate marketing, social media, friendship, hardship, love, money mindset, and all the things that celebrate you as a badass boss babe.
We're here to encourage you, show up for you, give you a loving kick in the pants when you need it most, and be your soft place to land on the hardest of days. So pull up a seat at our table and get ready to be inspired and start living your best life by design.
Welcome to the Girl Get Your Face Off a Bus Bench podcast. We are so excited you're here.
Okay, girls, let's dive in.
Okay, Bus Bench Babes, we are so excited to have you here for this really big announcement. You have been asking, and we have been listening and working really hard behind the scenes to bring you our very first mastermind workshop that launches on April 17th. We are so excited to host this for you. And today we're going to share a little bit about what that is going to look like and how that's going to serve your brand.
It's going to be super exciting.
It is.
Like, we keep talking about this and we're like, okay, we just have to do it. We have to just rip the Band-Aid off, and we're excited.
Yes.
Super excited.
We are so grateful for all of the reach outs asking about coaching and programs and how to work with us. And we are trying to figure out for many, many months, years of how we could actually bring this to you that made sense and where to start with it, right? The community that we've grown together with all of you has been amazing, and it's big. So how do we start this, and what does that look like? So the very first mastermind that we are launching on April 17th is going to teach you how to create a real estate brand that converts into sales without wasting a bunch of money on online leads. This is something that we've been sharing for years on the podcast, and something that we are so passionate about. Last year alone, Beth, why don't you share some stats here?
Yeah, the team, like in a down year when the National Association of Realtors said most people can expect their business to be down 30 to 40%, our team's business was up 86%.
86%.
From a sphere-based business, which is we were really proud of that number. And when Carrie was crunching the numbers, I'm like, this can't be right. You need to go back and look at them again. So we literally crunched them 5 times just to make sure that the numbers were right. Because then we were all second guessing ourselves, and we're like, holy crap, this is actually, they're right.
They're right.
It's incredible.
So what did we purchase one lead last year, Beth? One?
Yeah, but it wasn't even a lead we had to pay for up front. We paid for it at closing.
Okay. So this is a sphere-based business, and something that we've been preaching, creating a brand that converts, and proof that you can do it, right? So they're screaming from the rooftops on every network, every social media outlet, every email that you're getting from, so-called experts in the industry. Many are experts, but in this area, I question whether that is true. But anyways, online leads can provide you, great sales, right? In the end, that they can provide money, but it's not something that you're required to do in order to have a successful business. So that's what you're hearing out there, is that you need them to be successful. And it's just simply not true. You can do it a different way. So
yeah, I think young agents really get overwhelmed and think that they're doing it wrong, because if they don't have a budget to buy a bunch of online leads, and then it puts you in that scarcity mode. We've talked about abundance and scarcity on the podcast too. If you're put yourself in this box of there's no way I can be successful unless I have Zillow leads. it's just, there's 100 other ways to do it. And in our opinion, this is the best way to do it.
Yeah. So we're going to share here a little bit of a breakdown of what this mastermind is going to look like and sort of like the base for it, right? So how this is going to look. And then we'll provide you with some information of how, if you are interested at the end, you can sign up. So how it's going to look is it's going to be our first beta course, which we're super pumped about. So we are going to be working in this with you. So when we say workshop, you are going to have us working with you, which is something that isn't really done too much. We're not just going to teach you. We are going to be in this with you. So at the end, you're going to see results, which is, we want to be there for it, right? We want to be engaged with you and help you through this. So week 1, we're going to do a deep dive. It is what I do with all of my branding clients. We're going to get to the core to you and why you operate your business and your brand the way that you do. We start every member on the team with this. Anyone that I work with, we do this. This is something that takes a couple of hours, and it is your foundation for everything that you do moving forward.
I still remember the day that we did mine.
Yeah.
And holy cow, it was intense. But then at the end, we're like, oh my gosh, like this is
so much information.
It's the roadmap.
Yes.
We had the roadmap of like, okay, this is what I want it to feel like. This is how I want it to be. And it just felt so organic, and we haven't even had to tweak anything since because we nailed it on the first try.
We did. When you take this seriously, it sets you up for so much success, and decisions that you make after you do this will make so much more sense when it comes to your business. So that is week 1. We are going to do that together. Week 2, we are bringing on Katrina Widener, who is my business coach, and she's been on the podcast twice to talk all about human design and using that as a tool in your business. So this is something that, if you've been listening to the podcast for any amount of time, you have heard us talk about human design and the importance and what that brings to your business. She's going to break it down and how to set yourself apart using human design, how to make decisions for your business using human design. And I'm so excited to be a guest on.
We're really lucky to have Katrina.
We are so excited.
She is a rock star. Coaching with her does not come lightly. And so just even have her be with us for a day of coaching to coach all of you, you are going to walk away feeling like, holy crap, yes. I just learned so much about myself. Then when you bring in week 1 with that, it's going to be so incredible. So week 3, we are going to dive into positioning yourself and messaging. So how to position yourself in this market with your message, your brand voice, making sure that is spot on. This can get a little tricky, right? How do I take how I work, how my business is going to work, how I'm designed as a human being, and then how do I position myself in the market so I stand out and without having to scream from the rooftops? And this will also touch a little bit on visuals and how they apply to your brand voice as well, your brand identity. So this is something that we're super excited about. That week is going to be packed with a ton of information. And come week 3, you're going to be walking away already with enough to actually go communicate with clients with an effective strategy. It's really awesome. Exciting. And that's only halfway through the program. Love it. So week 4, we're going to talk all about effective copy, how to use effective copy to connect with your clients, to connect with other realtors, how to make it cohesive on all platforms. This is something that's a really big miss out there in the real estate industry, especially. We don't want to sound like everyone else. So how do we take our unique qualities, our unique voice, and identify what makes that special, and then use that to effectively communicate and market to our clients? I love that.
Yeah. So week 5, I'll just dive right in, Beth.
Yeah. You're like, I can't even contain myself.
Yeah. So week 5 is all about bringing those basics into the brand along with everything else, right? So continuing to do the basic stuff, the 80-20 rule, right? Like the accountability, how do I make that work for my business and also execute a brand that is effective, that communicates correctly to my clients, that's actually bringing money in. So how do we make those work together to be very cohesive and not work ourselves to the ground, right?
Huge.
Yes.
Yep.
All right. So then last week, week 6, will be a week where we're going to integrate together. We're going to have tons of questions there. We're going to blend the marketing with the brand, with the business, and you're all going to walk away with the ability to start, right? You're not going to leave this mastermind with confusion on, okay, now what do I do? You're going to have the roadmap of the ability to actually start and press go once you've completed the course. So One of my favorite things that we're doing during this mastermind and what makes it so unique is it's a workshop base. So like I mentioned and Beth mentioned, like we're going to be in this with you together. So we are going to have communication with you weekly in a weekly chat that we are communicating just for our mastermind attendees, which we're so excited about. And as a bonus, we're going to leave this open for 2 weeks after this mastermind. Like that gives me goosebumps because that's where the work actually happens, right? You have all this information and now you're implementing, but like what happens if you have no support, right? So we're going to keep that going for 2 weeks afterwards. So you're going to have contact with us, communication with us, and each other in the mastermind to make sure that everyone is actually implementing when this is all said and done.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I think, we've all taken real estate courses along the way. And sometimes you're just like, you've been talked to, not like interacted with. And then you leave the course and you're like, oh my God, I'm never going to do any of that.
You're so overwhelmed.
Yeah. And so we are like, we were very strategic when putting this course together. Like, how can we do this to keep you all engaged? And then you're going to make connections with other people in the course. And chances are someone's going to ask a question. You're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize I needed the answer to that. So there's going to be all the group communication outside of the classroom too. So when you're implementing things, you are not going to be alone feeling like, I don't get this. Like you're going to get this and it's going to make you really stand out in your market, which is really fabulous.
Yes. And such a huge piece of this is how you integrate this into real life. So like Beth just mentioned, we're not going to just talk at you. We're going to work with you. And we are so excited because this is a very different take on this. And we can't wait to see who is going to be in there with us.
And this is all the strategies we put in place for the BPR experience. And we put it in place for the podcast. We put it in place twice and it's working. So we know it's a proven strategy. And it's been really incredible to see agents on the team and to watch their businesses explode. So it's going to be really awesome. And we can't wait to see like what it's going to do for your brand and your brand voice and how you're going to be able to take your business to the next level.
We are so, so excited. So for more information, head to busbenchbabes.com/mastermind. The information will be right there, or shoot us a DM. Hop on Instagram, hop on Facebook and connect with us. We would love to chat with you. And if you have any questions, like put them there or shoot us an email. There's tons of ways to connect, but head to busbenchbabes.com/mastermind for more details and to sign up. We have very limited spaces. We want to keep this group small and exclusive so you all get the personal attention that you need to really get this done.
And it starts on April 17th.
We can't wait to see you there. So, That's a wrap, Beth.
That's a wrap. Mic drop.
Mic drop. So until next time, remember to keep your face off a bus bench.
And keep being the badass boss babes that you are.
Okay, girls, are you feeling as inspired as we are? We're over here cheering you on because you just finished another episode of the Girl, Get Your Face Off a Bus Bench podcast.
If you want more, head over to girlgetyourfaceoffabusbench.com for show notes and more episodes. And don't forget to subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. They mean the world to us and they're what keep us going.
Girl, thanks for being here.